Investigators also examined the role of his father, Colin Gray, who had given his son the rifle as a Christmas gift.
What? Why does grown adults be giving kids guns? Why do they think that's the best gift they could ever get? Yo, why? Yo, what's good, YouTube? Today we're gonna be reacting to the worst school shooting in U.S. history. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notification. Let's get straight to it.
Robb Elementary School. On the morning of May 24, 2022, at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, students attended class and teachers prepared for summer break. Shortly after 11 a.m., an 18-year-old former student, Salvador Ramos, argued with his grandmother at their home. During the dispute, he shot her in the face. She survived and later called the police.
Bro, why would he shoot his grandma? What in the world his grandma do to him? What, just because y'all have a little argument you decide to shoot your grandma? There's no point. That's your grandma. If it wasn't because of your grandma, your mom would not be here. And if it wasn't because of your mom, you wouldn't be here. So why did you do that?
Ramos then stole her pickup truck and drove toward the elementary school. At 11:27 a.m., Ramos crashed the truck into a ditch near the school, stepped out with an AR-15 style rifle, and fired several shots at two men near a funeral home across from the school. 1 minute later, Ramos entered the school through a west entrance door that had been left unlocked. He moved down the hallway and reached two connected fourth grade classrooms, room 111 and room 112. He began shooting. Ramos fired more than 100 rounds inside the classroom.
How in the world do you have 100 rounds in an AR-15? I don't even think an AR-15 even hold 100 rounds. And then on top of that, you crashed the car, so you're cooked. It's cooked. It's either you're gonna die in there, police gonna come kill you, you surrender, or you go into jail for life.
19 children and 2 teachers were eventually killed. 19? Several students managed to call 911 while hiding from inside the rooms. Police officers entered the building by 11:36 a.m. and advanced toward the classrooms. The gunman fired through the door and walls, grazing 2 officers. The officers retreated and took cover in the hallway. For the next hour, dozens and later hundreds of officers remained outside the classrooms. During this time, trapped students repeatedly called 911 and whispered for help. At 12:21 p.m., additional gunshots were heard from inside the classroom. At 12:50 p.m., a tactical team from the U.S. Border Patrol breached the classroom door.
If the SWAT team gotta come and stop this man, that's how you know it's serious. If the SWAT team have to come and stop this man, that's how you know it's serious.
And shot Ramos dead. The attack lasted 1 hour and 22 minutes. 19 students and 2 teachers were dead, and at least 17 others were injured. According to the investigation, Salvador Ramos appeared driven by deep social isolation, severe family conflict, and long-standing thoughts. Appalachia High School. One morning on September 4, 2024, students arrived for class at Appalachia High School in Winder, a small city in Barrow County, Georgia. Colt Gray, a 14-year-old freshman at the school, brought a Sig Sauer M400 semi-automatic rifle hidden inside his backpack when he arrived on campus.
Yo, you see? It's hidden inside his backpack. This is exactly why we need metal detectors, bro. As soon as you walk into the school, alarm is going off that somebody have a gun in the school. I ain't gonna lie, we need that in school these days.
This started at around 8:15 a.m. At 9:45 a.m., Gray left his algebra class and walked into the restroom in the J Hall corridor. He prepared the weapon there before returning to the hallway carrying the rifle. Around 10:20 a.m.
Bro, I don't know if these school shooters feel cool. I don't know if they feel some type of way. I don't know what they feel. But bro, yo, being a school shooter is not cool, bro. Because basically, as soon as you pull out a gun and you start shooting one round, your life is cooked.
Gray opened fire inside the school corridor and nearby classrooms during the middle of the school day. Students and teachers ran for cover, while others barricaded themselves inside classrooms. Several hid in the bathroom and called 911 for help. Law enforcement quickly moved into the school.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all talking about something. Running in the bathroom, hiding barricades and stuff. Yo, I'm running through the school, bro. I'm gone. Yo, if I know my school by heart and I know there's a back door I could get out, bro, I'm leaving campus. I'm gone.
Secured the building. Officers arrested Gray at the scene shortly after the attack. Within minutes, 4 people were killed. The victims included 2 students, Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo, both 14, and 2 teachers, Richard Aspinwall and Christina Irimi. 9 other people were injured. They were later rushed to hospitals in nearby Athens and Atlanta. Investigators also examined the role of his father, Colin Gray, who had given his son the rifle as a Christmas gift.
What? Why does grown adults be giving kids guns? Why do they think that's the best gift they could ever get? Yo, why?
The shooter had a mental health disorder and was obsessed with mass shootings. On March 3, 2026, a jury convicted Colin Gray of second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter.
That's good.
Appalachian School of Law. On January 16, 2002, students and faculty gathered for classes at the Appalachian School of Law in the small town of Grundy, Virginia. Peter Odegizuwa was a 43-year-old former student and Nigerian-born naturalized U.S. citizen. He had recently been dismissed from the law school because of poor academic performance.
Damn.
Earlier that morning, Odegizuwa returned to campus and spoke with Professor Dale Rubin about his academic problems.
Right.
Before leaving the office, he asked the professor to pray for him. At
Yo.
approximately 1 p.m., Odegizuwa came back carrying a Jennings 380 caliber semi-automatic.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, if I was the principal, tell us I'm praying for you, or you damn right I'm praying for you, my boy. You damn right I'm gonna pray for you. You right, I am gonna pray for you.
Handgun. He walked directly into the office area where Dean L. Anthony Sutton and Professor Thomas Blackwell were working. Odegizuwa opened fire at close range. Both men were shot in the head and killed inside the office.
No!
The gunshots echoed through the building, causing other teachers and students to panic and seek shelter. After the first attack, Odegizuwa moved toward the commons area, where students were gathered. He continued shooting and struck Angela Dales, a law student, who later died from her injuries. 3 other students were also wounded by gunfire. Outside the building, Tracy Bridges, a student and part-time sheriff's deputy, and Michael Gross, a police officer, retrieved handguns from their vehicles. They ordered Odegizuwa to drop his weapon. Students rushed forward and tackled Odegizuwa, holding—
Nah, these kids got balls. These kids got balls. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, there's no way I'm running behind a kid to put him down. And then he's armed? Yeah, nah. These kids got balls. I wouldn't do this.
him until police arrived. Odegizuwa repeatedly said, "I have nowhere else to go." The attack left 3 people dead, the dean, a professor, and a student, and left 3 others injured. In 2005, after years of mental competency evaluations, Odegizuwa pleaded guilty and received 6 life sentences, plus 28 years in prison without parole.
Yo, 5 years? Why did it took 5 years for this man to get sentenced, bro? Bro, that man probably thought he was free.
On the morning of May 18, 2018, at Santa Fe High School, at a suburban campus about 30 miles southeast of Houston, Texas, Demetrios Pagortis, a 17-year-old student at
Bro, he looked like a school shooter, bro. Look at this guy, bro. Look at him. Look.
entered the campus wearing a black trench coat that concealed several weapons. He carried a Remington Model 870 shotgun and a .38 caliber revolver, both legally owned by his father. Shortly before 7:32 a.m., Pagortis moved toward the art classrooms. He pulled a fire alarm, attempting to draw students out into the hallways, and shot several of them. Some students recognized the situation and called 911 about the shooting.
So you telling me he blasted their face off? Like, yo, nah, bro. Yo, come on, bro. Like, yo, being a school shooter is not fun, bro. Like, what do you gain out of this? Like, you're not making no money. You're not doing nothing out of this. Like, what's the point of school shooting? Why you shoot kids?
Pagortis entered Art Room 1 and Art Room 2, where students were preparing for classes. Pagortis pointed his weapon at one student and said, "I'm going to kill you," before opening fire and killing him. Students tried to hide inside a storage closet between the art rooms, but Pagortis shouted insults and attempted to force his way inside. He then fired shots through the door's glass panel, yelling, "Surprise!" before shooting again. Around 7:45 a.m., police arrived on campus and confronted the gunman. John Barnes, a school resource officer, was shot in the arm and critically wounded. The standoff continued for about 15 minutes. At approximately 8:02 a.m., Pagortis walked out of the classroom area and surrendered to police, repeatedly saying, "If I come out, don't shoot me." And after he stepped out, the police arrested him.
What do you mean if I come out, don't shoot you? If I was the cop, I would have shot him. Because, bro, you went in that class, you went into those schools to shoot them kids. I would have shot this guy. No hesitation.
Investigators later discovered several improvised explosive devices, including pipe bombs and a pressure cooker bomb, placed inside and around the school. None of them detonated. During the attack, 8 students and 2 teachers were killed, and 13 other people were injured, making it one of the deadliest school shootings in Texas history. Annunciation Catholic School. On the morning of August 27, 2025, students and teachers from Annunciation Catholic School gathered inside the Church of the Annunciation in the Windham neighborhood of Minneapolis, Minnesota. At approximately 8:27 a.m., the first 911 calls reported gunfire at the church. Outside the building, a 23-year-old former student, Robin M. Westman, approached the side of the church carrying multiple firearms. Investigators later—
So you decide to go shoot up the church. The church. Out of all places, the church? Bro, that's where the Lord itself is present. And you want to go shoot up the church? Oh yeah. Have a fun time with Lord. When it's God Judgment Day, good luck.
Confirmed that Westman was armed with an AR-15 style rifle, a Mossberg 590S shotgun, and a Taurus GX2 pistol.
Oh yeah, this guy was
Before starting to shoot, Westman barricaded at least 2 emergency exits from the outside to prevent those inside from escaping. Westman positioned outside the church and opened fire through the stained glass windows, aiming directly toward the student and worshippers seated inside. Glass shattered across the sanctuary as bullets tore through the pews. Panic spread instantly as students and teachers tried to drop to the floor or hide between the benches. During the initial burst of gunfire, 2 students were fatally shot while sitting inside the church during Mass. As police rushed to the scene, Westman moved behind the church building into the nearby parking lot. There, the gunman shot and killed himself, ending the attack before officers reached him.
You see, those 3 people who didn't die, that was God. God saved them. God saved them.
The shooting lasted only about 4 minutes, from 8:27 a.m. until roughly 8:31 a.m. When the gunfire stopped, 2 students were dead, 28 people were injured, and the attacker was also dead, marking one of the most shocking school-related shootings in Minnesota's history. Umpqua Community College. On the morning of October 1st, 2015, in Roseburg, Oregon, 26-year-old perpetrator Christopher Harper Mercer arrived at the Umpqua Community College campus armed with 6 handguns and a significant amount of ammunition.
Why do you need 6 handguns? For what? Bro, I don't understand school shooting, but nobody did nothing to you, bro. 6? Come on, bro. You need help.
At approximately 10:38 a.m., the gunman entered a writing class in Snyder Hall and fired a warning shot. Before he opened fire on the other students, he deliberately spared one student's life so that the student could deliver a package from him to the police.
I ain't gonna lie, if I was that one kid, I would've ran so fast, bro. I would've been running like I'm the Flash. Damn, yo, that rhyme. Hold on.
Then Harper Mercer first shot the English professor at point-blank range. He ordered students to stand up and asked, "Are you Christian?" If a victim replied yes, he reportedly stated, "Good, because you're a Christian, you're going to see God in just about a second," before shooting.
Yeah, bro, yeah, you see me? If I was at school and you asked me if I was a Christian, I would've purposely lied and been like, yeah, nah, I'm not a Christian, bro. He would've probably spared me, shoot, I would've ran too.
At 10:44, police arrived at the hallway of Snyder Hall. Harper Mercer fired several shots at the officers. They fired 3 shots in return, hitting him once in the right side. Harper Mercer retreated and fatally ended his own life inside the classroom. The attack left 9 people dead and 9 others wounded. Christopher was diagnosed with a mental illness right after that. A total of 14 firearms were later recovered in connection with him, all of which had been purchased legally because he did not have a diagnosis of mental illness, and his family—
Yo, what, bro? Come on, bro. So you purchased 14 guns, and you did not have no mental illness, and you went to the school just to shoot kids, bro, for fun. Like, why? Like, why do people do this, bro? There's no point.
Family background was clean. Following the tragedy, the perpetrator's father, Ian Mercer, appeared on television and sparked significant controversy by blaming the massacre 100% on American gun laws. He questioned how his son, who suffered from mental health issues, was able to acquire such a large arsenal, stating, if Christopher had not been able to get guns, this wouldn't have happened. Perry High School. On the morning of January 4, 2024, students returned from winter break at Perry High School in the small town of Perry, Iowa. At 7:27 a.m., Dylan Jesse Butler, a student, entered the school through the main entrance. He was carrying a Remington 870 pump-action shotgun, along with a revolver, a knife, and an improvised explosive device, IED, hidden inside his bag. At 7:55 a.m., Butler walked into a student restroom near the commons area. Butler started live streaming from inside the bathroom. He had posted a photo on TikTok with the caption, "Now we wait." At 7:35:02 a.m., Butler stepped out of the restroom and opened fire toward more than 50 students and staff members gathered in the commons area. Amir Joliffe, a student, was fatally shot. 4 other students and Principal Dan Marburger were also wounded in the initial gun.
Bro, I feel like these school shooters, bro, when they go shoot people, I feel like they crush in the school, probably gonna like him because now he's bad. He killed people, all type of stuff. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Immediately, Vice Principal Brad Snowgren activated the school's emergency alert system. Seconds later, terrified students began calling 911. Butler then moved through several hallways, firing towards classrooms that had already been locked by teachers. At 7:36:42 a.m., he confronted Principal Dan Marburger again in the hallway. Witnesses later said Marburger called Butler by name and pleaded with him to stop so students could escape. Butler fired again, seriously wounding the principal. At 7:37:42 a.m., the first police officer arrived at the school. Less than 2 minutes later, Butler shot himself and died inside the building before officers reached him.
Bro, why do school shooters be doing that, bro? Why shoot yourself, bro? Why? Because you know your life is cooked? What was the point of shooting kids in the first place? Like, why? Alright, YouTube, that's the end of the video. If y'all did enjoy that video, make sure y'all boys like, comment, and subscribe to our post notification. I will catch you guys in the next one.